All right, here's day one. So, yesterday I got fired. Today we're looking for something else. So, we're gonna talk about what do you do when you get fired. Step one, just go home, right? If you're at work, they let you get fired, just go home. You don't go out for drinks, you don't buy something crazy, you don't do something stupid, you don't badmouth your boss, you don't, um, you know, you say thank you for the opportunity, you leave, you go home, and you cry. It's okay to cry. Maybe you're mourning the loss of income, maybe you're mourning the friends that you met there, the community that you had, the routine, the life, any of those things. It's okay to take a moment and grieve that. You get home and you get yourself some water, you cry, maybe you take a nap, and then day one, doesn't matter how ready you are, it doesn't matter what opportunities there are, day one, you fix your resume. You put everything into that new resume. You get it started. This process of getting back on your feet. You don't have to get all the way back on your feet right away, but you have to convince yourself that you're already moving forward. So maybe you just add the title. You add the dates that you worked there, and then a short description. You can focus on the rest of that later, but that's step one. You update your resume. So once you've taken a day or so and you've gotten started, you're not staying down for a whole day. The very next day, you can finish up your resume if you haven't, but then you need to start applying to jobs. You have to get yourself moving. If you stay down, if you stay stuck, you're going to stay down and you're going to stay stuck. So the move is to move. That's what you have to do. This is a time game. So the day after you've got your resume moving forward, you've maybe sent out one application, you've sent out two applications, whatever. As long as that train is rolling and you know that you've done it so you can do it again, now you can take stock. Look at your expenses. You should have already done this, but if you haven't, you look at your expenses and you see, how much am I spending each month? How much is necessary spending? How much needs to be spent every single month in order to stay afloat? And so you take stock, and then you take stock of what do you have saved. This is a lesson that I knew it for a while, but I didn't take it to heart until just recently, and thank goodness I did. You need to have an emergency fund. You need to have an emergency fund. If you're just watching this video and you haven't been fired and you don't have an emergency fund, the minimum that you want, if you can put it away, is 3 to 6 months of living expenses. So if something like this happens, let's say you get injured at work, or for whatever reason you can't go in, you have to make a trip somewhere, or you get fired like I did yesterday, you have to have at least some living expenses set aside so that you're not immediately scrambled and down under. I'm not underwater, like it's a race against time right now because I don't have money flowing in, but you can give yourself some leeway by being prepared for a scenario like this. I have 3 or 4 months to until it's really like we got to get this done, but you don't wait. You get started the day of. I got fired in the morning. I got sent home early. I got my resume updated. I took a nap. I cried. I got a little food. Went to the store. Bought some chips and queso. Splurging a little bit, but not a lot, because we don't need to spend all our money. But get yourself a little treat, one that won't hurt you. You don't drink. You don't do something crazy that's gonna make tomorrow harder. But you let yourself feel good. You let yourself feel bad. And you get moving, and you have this emergency fund. So what do you do now? You You can use your monthly expenses and your emergency fund to figure out basically how much time you have left. And once you have this time set out, I know I have about 4 months before things start to get dicey. The very obvious thing is you hop on job sites like Indeed or ZipRecruiter or any of these other websites that allow you to send out applications in mass. A little tip is, the Smart Apply features are great, where you can just upload your resume and then answer a few questions and it applies with Indeed. Everybody does that. If possible, don't apply on Indeed. Find the job listing on Indeed and then go to their website, look at their website, see if they have any other opportunities that are also available. Apply on their website. If you can find an email them. Say, hey, I just submitted an application. This is my experience. I'd love if you could take a look at it. Please get back to me when you get this email. And hopefully that helps you stand out from the mass apply, AI scoured resumes that come in on the daily, because they get so many resumes, especially as there's all this uncertainty, as people are losing their jobs. They're not losing them in mass yet, but I have a feeling we're going to start seeing more and more of that in the very short future. But this just helps you stand out a little bit. And so those are really the first 3 steps. Is you take a breather, you get your resume done, you get your applications out there, and you take stock. I guess that's 4 steps. After that, you've got to take care of yourself. Your routine is going to be screwed up. Maybe you live with someone, maybe you're married, you have a spouse. You can lean on the regular things in your life to help maintain a routine, but if you just start waking up late and not taking care of yourself, going to sleep, getting enough sleep, things are just going to spiral out of control. And so what we're not trying to do is fix everything right now. But what we are trying to do is make the trajectory of your life, maintain it at least flat, but we're trying to get it in that upward direction again, because that's what your job was allowing you to do. It was allowing you to, if you were putting money away for investments, it was allowing you to get that financial trajectory in an upward direction. If you were learning new skills and meeting new people, you could get your social or your career advancement in an upward trajectory. But in essence, what we're trying to do is the plane is in free fall right now. And you don't have to figure out how to be an expert pilot and fly from the Bahamas to LA in the shortest time anyone's ever flown. What you have to do is pull the nose up. All you have to do is just don't crash. Don't crash. That's all you have to do right now. The first, second, third day. And then you start, if you have time, take care of your health. If your wealth isn't going up, make sure your health is going up. If you were slacking in the gym, now's the time to start. You have a whole bunch of time. If you have kids now, it's a great opportunity to be able to spend more time with your kids. If you have a spouse, you can spend more time with your spouse. There's a lot of good things that are not immediately apparent that this can turn into. So it's not all bad. Really, it's an opportunity to look at your life and say, maybe I didn't want it to change, but it has to change now. So how are we going to change it? Where are we going to go? The next thing is, you can't really be picky. You can't say, I was making this much before and I don't want to stoop to a lower level, or this isn't a job I'm willing to do. Because let's be honest, you don't have to tell your employer this, or whoever's going to be employing you, but you don't have to be married to this next job. You just get yourself in. You just get yourself moving forward. And once you've moved forward a slight bit, once you're in that job, now you can start shopping around again. And when the next hiring manager is asking you like, well, you've only been at this company for 3 months, like why are you already moving? Explain to them like, hey, I lost my job earlier, I got right back on it, I was willing to work, I was willing to work anywhere, and you know, now I'm ready to be more picky. So you can be picky in the future, but right now you're just trying to pull that nose up, you're just trying to move forward. And so this is an example of how I'm just moving forward. You know, I went outside. Great. It's great for your health. It's great for your mental health. Get some fresh air. You don't want to sit and rot inside, just application all day. You get outside and you start brainstorming. You know, I sent some applications yesterday. I sent some applications today. My plan is to start walking around and finding opportunities in the neighborhood that I live in. You know, I'm gonna go door to door and ask, or basically get a gauge on what the people in my community actually need. Is there a need that can be filled with some of the skills that I have? You know, maybe it's mowing lawns, maybe it's power washing, whatever. Anything you can do is good. Movement matters. Stagnation sucks. That's what we have for today. I'll keep you posted. I'll keep you updated. I'm sure I'm gonna have a lot more ideas, but just making this video here, this is my version of moving forward, and I hope to see you again. Thanks for watching.